Mizzou, the pros, and everything in between. Want to join in? Call or text the show at 573-875-KTGR. The Big Show starts now.
You bet it does. Welcome into Wednesday's edition of The Big Show on your total sports station, KTGR. Andy Humphrey, Brendan Schaefer here, getting ready once again here in the middle of this week, but it's going to be a big football weekend. Mizzou at Vandy, and we'll ask this question. I can't remember if we asked it earlier in the week, but we'll dive into it more today. Is Diego Pavia the best quarterback Mizzou will face this year?
Yeah, we can toss that around. There are some good ones in the SEC, some good ones on this schedule. We've seen a couple. There's going to be a couple more that we see, but he's got to be up there. We'll break that down.
Yeah, a few minutes we'll talk about that. You can get your thoughts in on that too. Also weigh in on our SEC football tiers, which we'll update at 5:05. We're going to have our top 5, bottom 5 NFL head coaches today, as we maybe teased earlier in the week. Brendan got his wish with that.
Vrabel.
Oh, boy. I don't know about that. And at 4:25, we'll dive into this. Tony Vitello is the next manager of the San Francisco Giants. 0 professional coaching experience, but obviously pretty much near the top of the ranks in college coaching in the sport of baseball. How do we feel about this? 4:25, we'll discuss. 573-875-KTGR. You can tweet us at KTGR Big Show. We're also live on YouTube at KTGR Sports. Subscribe to our channel there. We're also live on Facebook at facebook.com/KTGR Big Show.
Now, the Big Show's Big Deal.
Well, Eli Drinklett's keeping up the mantra of, yeah, college game day's there, but not necessarily for us. He said on the SEC coaches teleconference today that Mizzou is, quote, the sideshow, end quote, to Mizzou and Vandy being the feature game for college game day this weekend. It's a top 15 matchup, certainly a big one, as the Tigers look to get to 3-1 in the SEC and 7-1 overall with a victory. Coverage begins with the Yingling Tiger Game Day Show, 11:30 on Saturday right here on KTGR. Chiefs news regarding their opponent for Monday Night Football next week. Jaden Daniels will not play for the Commanders. He's suffering from that hamstring injury that he picked up against the Cowboys this weekend, and it'll be Marcus Mariota starting for Washington next Monday night at 7:15 as the Chiefs look to win their 3rd straight. That is the Big Show's Big Deal on this 22nd day of October 2025. You can call or text us here at 573-875-KTGR. Let's dive back into this matchup here. Is Diego Pavia the best quarterback that Mizzou will face and has faced this season? Very interesting. I think it's true, but I'm not positive that it is.
I would have said coming into the season, and we did. We played this game. I think we had Diego Pavia reasonably high on our list, but not at the top of it. I can recall, really feeling like Lenora Sellers was about to take this league by storm, and it just hasn't happened. He's a good player, and he may be a future pro, but I don't think he's the best quarterback on the schedule based on what we've seen from him this year. Jalen Daniels, dynamic player. I don't think he matches up to the man we're talking about today, Pavia, or Ty Simpson has honestly been really impressive with the season that he's had, and I would say has risen up the ranks for me. I just didn't know what to make of him coming into the season, but his combination of, explosive plays, putting up the numbers and limiting mistakes, just 1 interception, 18 touchdowns on the season. The numbers are there. I saw with my own eyes some of the throws that he made to ensure Alabama won that football game over Missouri. I think Ty Simpson's probably the best passer on the schedule, Andy. I don't know if he's the best quarterback because Diego Pavia is dynamic in what he brings to the table.
I think he's the most unique, Diego Pavia is.
Well, that's for sure, if that's the qualifier.
The enigma of the entire schedule when you're talking about defending quarterbacks. Eli Drinklett's called him a magician yesterday. That's a good way to put it. Best, he has a whole lot of tools at his disposal, that's for sure. Are the tools the best that you can have in the SEC when it comes to quarterbacks? Maybe not. You're right. I think Ty Simpson's a better passer. I mean, we could even go to Lenore Sellers still maybe being in that conversation. We kind of jumped the gun on him a little bit. Like, he's having his adversity hill, if you will, and I think he'll come out of it eventually. Don't get me wrong, Taylon Green deserves to be in this conversation at least.
He is going to be scary.
Yeah, man.
That's not a game I'm looking forward to at all against Arkansas.
That is a tough quarterback. He has gotten better, gotten more experienced now, and that will be a very hard test for Mizzou on the road when it eventually comes their way. But Pavia, just slithery and annoying. I think Bill Connolly has used that word before when describing Pavia. He's an annoying quarterback. When you face him, you have to have so many contingency plans to where it probably won't have enough most of the time. So it becomes hard to defend in that way from how Diego Pavia operates. Best quarterback, maybe not, but it is still a very interesting test for how Mizzou will play him this time around. And even compared to last time where, look, he leaked out a few times, maybe wasn't the best passer when he came to Columbia last year, but I think he's gotten a lot better in that area.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and I don't want to limit him because I feel like there's danger in this conversation of being like, oh, the best quarterback. Well, Ty Simpson can really throw the football. Pavia's thing is cute. No. This isn't like a way to diminish Diego Pavia to say, oh, he's a nice little runner. Because I feel like part of the way that we approached that Jaden Daniels game a couple of years ago was
nice
that
runner.
That was how and he diced you up through the air. And Pavia is liable to do the same because he is an elite player at the quarterback position. And I don't want to just break this down into, the tools of the trade and say that tools are all that matters because this dude wins as well. I think if we were Mizzou fans, the last couple of years talking about what makes Brady Cook so darn effective and great as Missouri's quarterback, it's because he just won. Sometimes there's that intangible that you can't quite put your finger on. And I am not discounting any of that when it comes to Diego Pavia. There is a fear factor when it comes to facing him because those things are real.
Billy, what you got?
There's also something I think to the quarterback position where it's what you add to the team. I don't know if Diego Pavia necessarily at Alabama would get the best out of what they have in that room. But I also think Ty Simpson wouldn't get the best of what Vanderbilt has in their room. I think that's been something that Vanderbilt's been lacking is that kind of edge that Pavia brings to the table. I think that swagger, honestly, has been important as anything he does on the field is just that attitude. And those guys feel like they can go to toe with anybody. And I think that's just something that's been missing even during the Franklin days, especially during the Mason days.
Clark Lee leans into it too, right? Where this week he says, people are kind of have that expectation of Vanderbilt's going to stay in the Vanderbilt corner and they're going to play their role in this whole grand scheme of what the SEC hierarchy looks like. And it's not that way anymore. And he doesn't care who doesn't like it, and he doesn't, he allows for, there's credit to this with Clark Lee for allowing Diego Pavia to just kind of do his thing. Cause there's some brash, there are other coaches that would, imagine, I'm trying to imagine and again, he was fired rightfully, Deshaun Foster from UCLA, but the way he was trying to micromanage situations out there, this Clark Lee has a feel for what, what's giving this team and this whole program energy. And it's everything that Diego Pavia does. So when he tells Paul Feinbaum, we're coming for the national championship in July, that's just part of the package and it works for what Vanderbilt's doing. And a lot of that does flow through Pavia. It will be interesting to see what happens with Vanderbilt after Pavia is gone. I don't doubt that they can continue to, kind of build up from where they've been. But Pavia is a huge part of the reason that as that kind of team dynamic, he's the heart of it, right? In more ways than just what he does on the field.
Call or text us 875-KTGR if you want to weigh in. Is Diego Pavia the best quarterback that Mizzou will face this season? James saying he's the most athletic, but I think Simpson is better. Brandon saying Marcel Reed, fourth highest Heisman odds, slightly ahead of Pavia. Reed is the upgraded version of Pavia, slightly better passer and runner on a better team.
Ooh, that's interesting comp. We didn't get to see Marcel Reed last year, so it's really difficult. Like that's one thing that I do have in my mind when it comes to Pavia is like we did watch Mizzou beat this player and this team last year.
Barely.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. It kind of felt like the Auburn game a couple days ago. But they did win it. And he didn't throw for the world in that game. He did a nice job running, but we've at least seen it. With Marcel Reed, there is a little bit of the element of the unknown because we kind of watched him all year last year when he was starting instead of Connor Wegman and kind of knew what he was. But I would agree he's played at a much higher level this year than what Texas A&M got out of him a year ago. But I think Pavia is doing the same thing. So I don't think we can just look at last year's Pavia game and say, oh, we know what to do with this guy. Like, I think it helps. It gives you a leg up. It gives you that experience to lean on. But I don't think it's the whole picture. But Reed's an interesting comp, Andy, or just a candidate for this conversation because his numbers are really, really good.
He probably is more talented, slightly better if that's your...
I don't care about that, though. Not in this conversation.
But Marcel Reed's winning, too. Like, I mean, you can't doubt that. That's for sure. And look, I know with Vanderbilt, it's the underdog story. It's, oh, no one believes in us. Everyone's telling us to stay in the corner. They still need to kind of prove it, I think, a little bit. They also have kind of the something to prove mindset.
In what regard? What do they have to prove in your mind?
Well,
what's the scale on that question?
Well, if they're talking national championship, well, then yeah, they definitely do need to be.
Well, yeah, but that's every team other than maybe Ohio State.
Okay,
would be in that category.
But I mean, consider last year we said, oh, they've arrived. Oh, and it was 7.
We go 7-5. Yeah,
7-5. I can't remember. I guess they lost their bowl game if they went 7-5 in the regular season. I mean, James Franklin put together back-to-back 9-win seasons there, and so like for everything Clark Lee has done, I think Clark Lee's been great. Still hasn't gotten to that mark just yet. And so like, obviously we're projecting out with what they should be able to do the rest of the season. Yeah. 9 wins is definitely on the table for Vanderbilt, but we still have to see it. And like this game for them is a big step towards that. So I think there's still that type of mindset. They still have the underdog mentality. They can still play that, even though game day is going to be in their backyard. I think they still have that ability to do it. And certainly with Pavia, like, do you remember when Diego Pavia was just the guy who got suspended for taking a leak on the practice field at New Mexico? Like,
I vaguely, what was he? New Mexico State.
He was New Mexico State's quarterback.
That was him.
It was the week that they were playing, and like for whatever reason, for whatever reason, New Mexico State was using New Mexico's practice field. It was an indoor facility. I guess
it was a bowl game or something, right?
Well,
it was something weird like that.
I can't
Billy's
remember
got
if it was.
Billy remembers.
Okay,
what do you got?
Go
Billy?
ahead, Billy.
Well, so earlier in the season, they had played the rivalry game, New Mexico State. And after New Mexico State won, Diego Pavia took a leak on the New Mexico practice facility. New Mexico State was invited to play in the New Mexico Bowl, which is in the University of New Mexico Stadium. He was banned, though, from the practice facility.
That's right.
So he couldn't practice with the team during the week.
Right. So like that,
I forgot that was like like mentally I remember talking about this story, but not connecting it to that Pavia was the same guy, and now I'm kind of remembering all that again.
We don't remember him for that anymore. That's for sure. Like he's the.
Well, now that you bring it up, I do, but no, that wasn't top of mind. And then even the evolution to last year, where he was, the guy being bold and brash and beating Alabama, but. Like you said, it was kind of, well, you go 6. Billy got the info. They went 6-6 and then won against Georgia Tech in the Birmingham Bowl. So they're 7-6. Like that's a bowl season, sure, but that's not like to follow that up. You went 500 last year, really, and you follow that up with saying, yeah, we're national championship. That's in like with a dead serious look and a straight face. That's what he intends to do. Like.
Yeah. And
he's elevating.
And I don't blame people for looking at them in the face and laughing when they say that. Like, but they're trying to back that up.
It kind of fuels them, doesn't it?
Right.
We're finding out. And so I hate being against an underdog story because that's kind of our shtick,
Well,
our shtick is the SPP. And now we have to go heel. We have to be the heel. And I think Drink's kind of playing the heel. No, that's kind of for them. That's not really about us. It's all, have fun with that.
I mean,
we're just
I think
playing
it's the
a road
way
game.
to play it. I wonder how that registers nationally? Like, are people saying, like, come on, Drink?
Yeah, they are. They probably are. But I think who gives a bleep how it registers nationally?
I mean, no one around here does, that's for sure.
No, and frankly, as much as sometimes the shtick from Drink gets on my nerves when it's like the way he kind of builds out, but that's like a Kirby Smart thing too, where we talked like, why is Kirby Smart's players coming off the field saying nobody believed in us when you were like consensus number one coming into a season and then you win the national championship? Drink is very good at kind of massaging narratives to ultimately prove a point with his players. And to Drink, that is all that matters. And so everything else is just a tool to be able to accomplish that, which is something that I'm saying to his credit. At times I might look at it and be like, all right, this is a bit, but it's never, it's always for something more that I think happens behind the scenes that we don't see. That's what I'm convinced of anyway. And that's why I think Drink's players love to play for this man. So you can bet that this is what we're seeing on the surface and what Drink is saying publicly. He is amping it up privately in a way that says that should piss you off. And he's going to utilize that, I think, to motivate his team. That's the name of the game.
That it didn't get picked for your game. Maybe a little later. I don't know
if it's that. I can't speak for what motivational tactics he's going to use. I just know he's going to use it. I think it's more about, they look, everybody wants to celebrate what Vanderbilt is doing, and it's this great story. Here's our STP isn't done, clearly.
Yeah.
So this is, the next step in our journey has to be the mentality. But it's interesting. Like, I think both coaches kind of carry a similar mentality and do so effectively, which is going to be interesting to see kind of how that lines up. But to the central point of all of this, when it comes to Diego Pavia, is he the best quarterback? I'm just going to say yes. I'm not going to do all these.
Like, if someone like you should say yes, it's because Diego Pavia has kept being told no to similar questions like this. Oh, I'm not big enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not fast enough, whatever it might be. You should say, yeah, he's definitely the best quarterback. That way he can't play the underdog.
Well, and I don't know if that plays in or doesn't play in, but the reason I feel compelled to say yes, he is because we're talking about all the great things that he's doing and elevating a program the way that he has as sort of the face of it. I don't want to then, put qualifiers on it and say, well, he might not be and then like add in all those things, because the results do speak for themselves. And I again, is he the most frightening quarterback to play against? That's another way you could frame it. And I might say that he is. I don't know that there's any quarterback that I would be more fearful to face in the conference than this guy, because there isn't really, in the way that you approach it, a limitation to the crazy stuff he can do on the field that can leave you on the wrong side of a football game. He's got that it factor.
There is no one way to play him. That's for sure. It is a very tough challenge for how Mizzou will have to do it. I feel like this is maybe the most important game for both Zion Young and Damon Wilson for how they set the edges on this guy.
I think it's a huge game for those guys.
Because you have to affect him. You have to make him uncomfortable.
But you can't be taken out of the play.
Right.
You have to be aware of he's going to try to leave the pocket. And it's not just those two. That's in conjunction with Corey Batoon and whoever they're deciding is going to be the spy, which I feel like there's got to be one, or what are we doing?
It's
here?
like a box and one defense. Like devote one person to just shadowing him the entire game.
In the ends, the edge rushers, keep him in the box. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or have a defensive plan that you try to funnel him in the direction that you want. And understand as well that when it goes wrong one time, and it will, don't get up finger pointing. Just get ready for the next play, because he'll do it again. Like, it's going to happen that he's going to break your contain. He's going to do something that you didn't intend. And that's just a credit to him as a player. But like, as long as there's no timidity, right? Eli Drinkwitz talked about looking timid in the offensive game plan, right? The way that the line was executing, the assignments and what they wanted to do, the play calls. The same is true, I think, on defense. Have confidence in whatever this plan is going to be going into contain, limit, force Pavia out of his element, whatever it is that they're going to try to do. I think, you got to make adjustments if it's not working, but there needs to be a confident plan going in of like, here's what we're going to attempt to do, and here's the why behind it. And everybody on that defense, I think, needs to understand it, because if you've got a couple of guys playing a rogue agent where they're going to try to do something that's outside the scheme, outside the game plan, having their eyes deceive them, you're going to have to be careful about that this week.
Adam saying 875-KTGR on our texter, I believe Simpson and Sellers are both better. We expose him this weekend. Ooh, that's bold.
I don't think we exposed Diego Pavia. I do think that Alabama's defense showed he is not infallible.
No.
He can make a mistake.
Yeah.
He can force the issue at times and try to play outside of his capabilities. And his capabilities are vast. So that it's not often that you'll see that, but I think it's possible to do it to him. And, he's taken not a ton of sacks either. He's very hard to bring down, which is why I said, I don't want to get lost in the number of sacks that Mizzou, the number of times they bring him to the ground, affect the passes. And I do think it's a game where if you can pick him off a time or two, that's more telling than the sacks, because you're not. It's just very
the number
unlikely.
Isn't all that important. I agree. I don't think they shouldn't try to, though. Like there should be some big plays defensively that set them behind the chain some way, somehow. Because again, sometimes in situations like that, a throwaway can almost be good for the offense. And you get back to the line of scrimmage and where you started and you live to fight another day. I still think there will be for an offense that thrives on its efficiency, trying to disrupt that as much as possible with a negative play or a TFL of some time. You should still try to create as many opportunities for that as you can, but that also is the balance, because there will be times where Diego Pavia is able to burn you on that sort of thing if you are too aggressive.
And on third down especially is when you just have to kind of not let the Pavia magic happen. You can't get lost in the sauce on, whatever he's going to be trying to do. That's when it's going to be the most terrifying, is when it's 3rd and 13 and he breaks from that contain. And it's a decision of, am I about to see him hit somebody open downfield, or is he going to take it himself and Superman through the air on the sideline like he did in the LSU game to get a first down? That's where it's going to have to be nose to the grindstone, I think, for this Mizzou defense. But frankly, this game, it is going to be highly about the Mizzou defense. Don't get me wrong. Vandy's probably scoring 30 points, though. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. So this game is just as much about the Mizzou offense and the way that it's able to establish its identity with the football in its hand.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big part of this.
Better. You have to run better in this game to have a chance. So we'll see if Mizzou can do that. Give us your thoughts. Is Diego Pavia the best quarterback the Mizzou has faced to this point or will face this season? 875-5847 if you want to call or text us with your thoughts on it. We'll get more of your thoughts. We'll also get our SEC football tiers updated at 5:05. But up next, unprecedented jump from college to Major League Baseball manager. That's the jump that Tony Vitello is making. How do we judge that going forward? That's next. You're on The Big Show.
Miss the latest edition of The Big Show? Catch up on demand with a full show podcast on the KTGR app. Download it now wherever you get your apps.
Hey, it's Andy and Brendan for Underdog Fantasy, and I'll tell you, Tuesday night on Underdog was an absolute blast with basketball back in our lives once again. And Andy, I know you enjoyed the opening night of hoops.
It was good. Would have been better if my Rockets were able to hit the last shot at the end. They unfortunately weren't able to do that. But hey, I needed every bit of double OT in that Thunder Rockets game so that SGA could get higher than 43.5 points, rebounds, assists. Amen Thompson coming through for me higher than 21.5 points and rebounds. So it was a winner. And look, if I can win, then literally anyone on Underdog, if you download the app, can win. It's that easy.
That's right. Choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. If you get your entries right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Andy was a winner last night, and you could be next. Download the app today and use promo code KTGR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It always starts small. You notice one single ant on the counter, then another, and perhaps a mouse in the garage. And you swear you can hear something trying to claw its way through the wall in your room at night. Then you realize the fall invasion is here. When pests get cold, much like humans, they come inside. And here in Missouri, that means ants, spiders, mice, you name it. They're not picky about where they settle in either. Your kitchen, your garage, even the attic. That's why you call Steve's Pest Control. Steve's has been fighting the fall invasion for Missouri families and businesses for decades. Steve's team knows exactly what's crawling into your home each fall, and they know exactly how to wipe them out. The invasion starts right in your own backyard, so call the team who's just as local as the pests they're here to eliminate.
Hi, I'm Steve with Steve's Pest Control. We're going to solve your pest problem. I guarantee it.
Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
My name is Taylor, and I have had insurance with Phyllis Nichols and her team for over 9 years. One of my first and only auto claims for me personally came when we were on a long road trip, and I was maybe following a semi-truck a little too close, and we all know when those rocks pop up, crack your windshield. First thing I did the next day was call Phyllis. Phyllis handled the whole thing. She got us into, I think, one of the local vendors to replace our windshield, and within 24 hours, it was done, it was over, and made it a very seamless process.
You know your former golf bag? It's not just holding up the weed whacker on your garage wall. It's also holding cash. Same goes for that rowing machine you swore you'd use once. At Play It Again Sports, turn your gently used gear into money in your pocket. Bring in your old golf equipment, fitness gear, softball bats, baseball cleats, and more. Cash out and keep it, or trade up to something better. Play It Again Sports in Columbia. Think of them first so you don't finish last. PlayItAgainSportsColumbiaMo.com.
There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to football weekends, and that's what makes Yuenglings such a great pick. From traditional lager to light lager, flight, golden pilsner, and black and tan, they brew a beer for everyone's taste. Whether you're manning the grill, setting up the tailgate, or just watching with friends, Yuenglings got a flavor that fits the moment. Brewed with nearly 200 years of tradition by the oldest brewery in America, Yuengling. Legends stand the test of time. D.G. Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Back to more of the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. You've got The Big Show on the KTGR app.
Mizzou Vandy coming up on Saturday. Call or text us about it at 573-875-KTGR. Just a reminder, we'll be back out at the Deuce Pub and Pit. Be sure to join our watch party powered by Yuengling. And you can have a chance at some Mizzou football tickets while you watch Mizzou Vandy with us. That should be a fun time here. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a lot of fun with that. I'll be obviously
you'll be
at the game this time.
Yeah,
but,
you'll be all right.
Looking forward to that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of stunned at something I just read from Twitter.
What?
And it pertains to our next topic.
Okay.
Obviously, Tony Vitello leaving Tennessee to become the manager of the Giants is, crazy and historic. We talked about Kurt Suzuki being hired by the Angels.
Did we talk about that?
We mentioned it, I think. Okay. I think I mentioned it in the top five.
Not Albert Pujols, but Kurt Suzuki, yes.
Yeah. So, in passing, we mentioned it. Bob Nightingale reporting that Kurt Suzuki's contract is a 1-year deal as the Angels manager.
That is not
that's why
fair.
I was, as you were doing the promo for the Deuce, I was like,
you
what?
were mouth agape, and I was like,
I couldn't.
What's wrong with Brendan?
It absolutely was not computing what I was reading. Like, you try to avoid the lame duck manager. They're hiring one.
Golly.
It's like we couldn't get Pujols.
So we're gonna
Kurt, come be the manager for a year.
A year.
That's pretty obvious.
Jeez.
What in the world?
This is not fair to Kurt Suzuki. I think he deserves better than
crazy
that.
to me.
Yeah.
Artie Marino's running a heck of an operation over there.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm glad
do you think it was the money?
There.
I think it had to be the money with the Sam Blum of The Athletic covers the Angels, reported that, Pujols and the Angels were in on talks and couldn't agree to a contract. Of course, he's already under contract with the team.
Yeah, they're paying
the personal
still.
services.
Yeah.
It's $1 million a year. I don't know what happened there, but for Kurt Suzuki to be like the consolation prize and then tell him 1 year is good. Unless Nightingale's got it wrong, which happens from time to time. Because he did mention that Tony Vitello was taking a pay cut to join the Giants from Knoxville. And I don't know if that's going to be exactly right. Nightingale said, well, he's making a little bit more than $3 million on his new contract with the Giants. He was making a little bit more than $3 million with Tennessee, including, all the incentives and everything else.
Yeah.
So I don't know really if it's a pay cut. With California taxes, it certainly will be. But so we'll see on that. The 1 year deal thing, though, that is unfathomable that you'd hire a manager and just give him 1 year.
I don't really question much of, well, I do question it. I just am not surprised by anything that the Angels do now. Yeah, sure. Yeah. 1 year deal for your new manager that you're trying to have kickstart your franchise. I don't know, man. Sorry.
Crazy to me.
It does seem like they just whiffed on who they really wanted. And then, well, okay, Kurt Suzuki.
Kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
Kurt Suzuki's a nice dude. Let's see how it goes. Yeah,
But you kind of felt
situation.
that way with Ron Washington, too, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Another bridge.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that they're trying to bridge toward. If they had Pujols as a candidate that they wanted and they came down to finances and they couldn't agree, like, if it's your guy, get your guy. So, I don't know.
Call or text us at 875-KTGR, but that is going to be fascinating.
Oh.
Tony Vitello, with no pro coaching experience, jumping from college to MLB manager right off the bat and going to the Giants. Giants weren't bad this year, not a playoff team, but they hung in. They got some good players.
It's not like it's a dumpster fire, to your point. Like, he's not walking into a situation that doesn't expect to win. I think they're going to be immediately expecting to win. Buster Posey is running the show there.
Mm-hmm.
He's like their puppet master. And some of the reporting on this was really fascinating. So the Giants traded one of the Rogers brothers, the relief pitchers, traded him away and got Drew Gilbert in return. Drew Gilbert played for Tony Vitello at Tennessee. Vitello was at a random series in which he kind of met with Buster Posey, and evidently this was like after the deadline in August, and evidently like this is kind of where the seed was planted for them to potentially go after him. And lo and behold, after days and days of Vitello trying to decide whether or not he wanted to leave Knoxville, and it's been a glorious day on Twitter reading how Tennessee fans are feeling about this. They're upset at the athletic director for what is this perception that under the new NIL rules with the basically the salary cap for your athletic department, revenue sharing, that women's basketball is getting a lot more than baseball, and that was kind of something that Vitello butted heads with Danny White on. But then Danny White had a press conference and literally asked the media, which one of you reported that, because it's not true. And it was very uncomfortable. He asked, and it wasn't hypothetical, but nobody answered. He's like, do you know who reported that? Are they in this room? And he basically denied that he said, no, the 5% that we said is what it is for women's basketball, baseball, whatever. And so, like, I have no idea the veracity of that, but it's obviously a point of contention right now. So there's folks who think it's kind of NIL, his relationship with Danny White. He was maybe looking for an out. A&M had tried to get Tony Vitello for the last couple of years. He didn't leave. He was open with his players about it over the weekend. They had a practice or a scrimmage or whatever they were doing. And evidently he kind of said, this is in the air. I'm not going to deny it. It's happening, and we'll just see where it goes. And ultimately made the decision after, I think, going back and forth on it, that he wants to go. And it's like that. It's unprecedented, Andy, because of what you said. A college coach going directly into a manager's chair in Major League Baseball has never happened. But it's not as though teams have never hired guys with no experience. Like Mike Matheny had zero coaching experience outside of Little League. Cardinals hired him, and he had a winning record. I don't think he was a great manager in St. Louis. Royals fans had experience with him as well.
Yeah.
From that perspective, it's like this isn't as crazy because former players who've never coached do get hired. Isn't Vitello more qualified than those guys that have been given jobs?
But it's a different job, right? Can we agree on that? Like MLB manager versus college head coach. Like it's still any college head coach. You have to procure the players yourself. You have
to
convince them. All upon you. So it's not just having the coaching ability; it is having the sales ability to bring in the best players. And then when you have the guys in the room, whether they're the best players or not, it's bringing out the best out of them. Which
he can do that.
I mean, sure, he's proven how to do that. The resources, of course, that he had at his disposal were very good at Tennessee, and so that helped, and that is why they're national champions now.
Maybe that was about to change, though. That's what we don't know.
That's also, going to be a conversation across the country that, and if it's happening at Tennessee, then it could happen anywhere, with how resources get allocated to baseball and some of those other sports, not just that sport, but women's basketball, softball, other Olympic sports, essentially. Because
was it Texas Tech that paid $1 million for a softball pitcher, and it got them to the final? Like, that's going to be interesting to see the landscape.
Yeah, it's just everything is more expensive in college sports nowadays, and so you have more of a priority to funnel everything into your moneymakers, which in most cases across the country are your football and men's basketball programs. And so for the other sports, like it's not to say they have nothing over at Tennessee. I think they got a good amount, but maybe again, with how Vitello was reportedly butting heads with,
like, there's a cap,
or at least it may have been less than what they had been operating with before. And so they had to deal with that. Yeah.
Because some programs, let's just be real. I think at Missouri, they've said, hey, this is the will to win push. We're going to operate at the highest level of revenue sharing. I don't know that they were blowing the doors off revenue sharing, the number before. I don't know what that, if it's kind of coincided where Mizzou has made its rise as they come up with this cap. Whereas it wouldn't surprise me if at Tennessee, and with their whole athletic department, they might have been spending more. But that's like Tony Vitello is the head of the snake, doing fundraising, doing, building relationship with boosters, and he's getting that support. But then suddenly it changes because, well, my guy, Max Scherzer, wants to donate to me. Not saying like he was donating to Tennessee. I have no idea.
No.
He's a Mizzou guy. But like the Max Scherzer equivalent from Tennessee, that's a former player that's playing in, the major leagues and wants to donate to the program. He wants that to go to baseball, but now we've got this revenue sharing cap. And so how do we use the funds in a way that, are we paying players with that? No, we're going to upgrade the facility. They're getting like $100 million upgrade to their stadium. Tennessee baseball is. So like all of those sorts of things, I think were baked into like the complicating factors for Vitello in making this decision. You said they're different jobs. I agree. Is college coach in this era a more difficult job? I'm not saying that the scale is higher, but I think it's a tougher job. There's more hats to wear.
I don't know which one is tougher because I am not. Here's the thing. I'm not convinced that the skill set that got Tony Vitello to where he is now is essentially going to translate over to Major League Baseball as a manager.
I was going to ask you, like, do you think this is going to be a success or not? With Vitello and the Giants?
No clue. It is a different. You're working with professionals. You are managing.
Yeah.
You are no longer managing 18 to 22-year-olds, or maybe even before that, if you were in high school, like teenagers, stuff like that. These are grown men that are paid a whole lot of money, in most cases, more money than you to coach, to play this sport. And so like that is a different dynamic. Money equals power. And so like usually the power is residing with the players on a lot of that. But as the manager, you have to,
you get the buy-in.
You have the buy-in. You have to, no pun intended, manage the morale of the room. When it gets lost, you know that a manager can't be long for the job anymore. It's
massage the egos.
It's not just about knowing which reliever to bring in the middle of the seventh inning. Like that's not the whole job. It's important, but it's not the whole job. And it's not what you see all the time is what's most important to handling this type of position. And so, look, he's never been in that before. So I actually have no idea, but I tell you what, Giants just became one of the more intriguing teams of 2026 to me. I will absolutely be paying attention.
And my stance on this, none of us know for sure. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be really successful. I just the way that Buster Posey has operated with conviction, with some confidence in the moves that he's made so far, I just feel like there's something brewing there that, and like, I don't know that this starts a wave where it's like, if it works for Vitello, will other teams look to go this route? I think Vitello is very unique in terms of what he brings to the table as a baseball coach. Yes, the roles are different, but I do hearken back to thinking about different guys that have gotten manager jobs, and it's always because they're a former MLB player, and they go into those jobs, and sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not so great. But I wonder what, because there have also been MLB managers who were not MLB players, right? Guys, the organizational guys, the Mike Schiltz, the Snicker with the Braves, Ollie Marmol, right? Guys that got into it. Maybe they made the minors as a player, but then they get into coaching. and they have success, and they kind of forge their own path as a result of that. I think with Vitello, I think he's got a personality that he's going to win with his players. He's going to win them over. And I think can establish a lot of that kind of team mentality that was there in the college realm. It's different in pro ball. It's not as easy to come by, I don't think, because you are managing a lot of different types of personalities, and they've gone through different things in lives, and trying to mesh all that together, I think, is more difficult in MLB than it would be at the collegiate level. But you mentioned recruiting. I absolutely think there's going to be resources for the San Francisco Giants. They're in a big market. Sure. They're going to spend. I think he's a recruiter for free agents and for a vision of what that organization is going to do. I think him and Buster Posey can walk into a free agent meeting and sell something and pitch something. And they're going to get, I think they're going to sign some people. And I'm not just talking about Max Scherzer, although if he plays baseball next year, he's 1,000,000% a Giant. There is zero chance he's anything else but a San Francisco Giant, right? With the Mizzou connection there. But I think it's going to play to their advantages as an organization to have Tony Vitello as, frankly, immediately, where does he rank in terms of high profile as a manager? Because to me, it's top half of the list and maybe top 10 away, day one.
With the cachet that he has built as a college coach, no doubt about it. We'll see how it looks in the long run. 573-875-KTGR if you want to call or text us. You can also leave a comment on our YouTube channel like Landon just did, and we have it on the screen here. I think it'll take a year or two for him to figure it out, but he seems like a true winner. Could be a slam dunk hire for San Francisco. Like, it's bold. It's a big swing, no pun intended, on that type of thing. But to be honest, I have a hard time judging how it's going to go because there will be that culture shock. I don't expect immediate results, but again, if you find that this is a fruitful way to find your next coach, to find your next manager, then
it's very unique.
Maybe we see more of it, and going down the line. I don't know.
No, that's what I said. I don't agree with. I don't think that there's a connection to be drawn. I think it's specifically this guy. I think this guy, they think that highly of.
No other coach would be ever deserving of this.
Not saying there's none other that could be deserving of it. I'm sure there have been some in the past that would have been. And we've seen it with pitching coaches as well. Like the Cardinals got Dusty Blake from Duke, I believe. There have been others. The Twins got a pitching coach from the college ranks. I've seen it more recently with like analytics and stuff in the college game, I think has translated to what MLB teams are looking to do. So that might explain that a little bit. But I think it's possible, but I wouldn't say that I would draw a connection to say that if Vitello works, other college coaches could work, or that teams will look to hire other ones. Maybe they will. Maybe it's copycat league. But I think specific to this individual is why Buster Posey and the Giants felt that this is fine to do. For them, it's more about we've got Tony Vitello as our manager than, hey, we're going to pull a coach from the college ranks. That's a side story, and it's true to what they're doing. But I think they're specifically that high on this guy and what he's able to bring to a baseball program, whether that's at the college ranks or the majors.
Well, let us know what you think. Tony Vitello, the next manager of the San Francisco Giants, making the jump from college to pro just like that. Call or text us at 875-KTGR. We've got Under the Bus next. We're still trying to make the Pro Bowl relevant. Like, we're trying our best, and now we're going to the move of putting it on a different day, a weekday. We're putting it on a weekday now. Is that going to work? Okay. We'll get to that next.
Now, your local Sports Center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Billy Jones. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Jerry head coach Eli Drinkwitz continuing his media blitz, calling Mizzou a, quote, sideshow with game day in attendance for Nashville. Mizzou's game Saturday against the Commodores. Mizzou trying to play spoiler once again as they did in 2014 when they won in Columbia, South Carolina. And game day was on the campus for Mizzou's matchup against the Gamecocks. Some injury news for the Chiefs. Omar Norman-Lott placed on injury reserve after an ACL injury sustained Sunday. He's expected to be out for the season. And news for the Chiefs' opponent on Monday, Washington quarterback Jaden Daniels will not play with a hamstring injury. He's already missed 2 games this season with an ankle injury. Backup quarterback Marcus Mariota will get the start. Chiefs and Commanders go at it Monday night, 7:15. You can hear that one on KCMQ 96.7. Chiefs trying to win 5 out of 6. Blues last night, lose 2-1 in overtime against the Los Angeles Kings. Justin Falk scored his first goal of the young season. Jordan Kyrou now with a 4-game point streak after his assist. Up next, your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking clear skies tonight and a chance to see some frost, especially north of Highway 24, where we have a frost advisory. Temperatures drop down to the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow, expect sunshine again. We're going to see light winds and temperatures making it to the mid 60s. Rain chances return by mid-morning Friday. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
Truman the Tiger. M-I-Z. Marching Mizzou. And of course,
To the house! To the house!
the traditions of Mizzou football live here. Join us Saturday. Mizzou is back on the road to take on Vanderbilt. Our coverage begins at 12:30 on your home for Mizzou football.
We are
Mid-Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
Hi, everyone. Andy Humphrey here for Lee's Tire Company. They are round for you, and if it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. They want to also remind you that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all this month they are bringing back their Brakes for Breasts campaign. What this means is that you can get a qualifying brake job at Lee's Tire Company all throughout this month, and you can either get $40 back or you can donate that $40 to breast cancer research. And on top of that, Lee's Tire Company will match that $40 donation. Just another way that Lee's Tire Company not only knows how to get you the right tires, how to work on everything else on your vehicle, but also help make a difference, especially during this month as we try to fight that nasty disease called cancer. So again, if you get a qualifying brake job at Lee's Tire Company at any of their 3 locations, 2 of them in Columbia, 1 in Centralia, you can either get $40 back or donate $40 to breast cancer research, all during the Brakes for Breast campaign at Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. It's time to leave those regular malt beverages in the doghouse and adopt Lucky One Lemonade. Made with real vodka and real juice, Lucky One is a premium alcoholic beverage with no artificial flavors, no bubbles, and is only 100 calories. With 4 flavors, blueberry, peach, raspberry, and regular, and money from each pack sold goes to help rescue dogs find their forever home. Come taste Lucky One Lemonade at this year's Zimmer Tiger Tailgate. From backyard hangs to tailgate sips, Lucky One Lemonade is the upgrade that your cooler deserves.
This is Kim with Hearing Aid Consultants. I am truly honored to be voted Jefferson City's best, and that wouldn't have happened without our genuine and outstanding patients. We focus on continually serving those struggling with hearing loss with the best value in hearing aid technology in the area. If you are interested in a comprehensive hearing evaluation and solutions, please see us in Jefferson City, Hearing Aid Consultants in Allmake Repair Lab. We are here for you today so you can hear tomorrow. HearingAidConsultants.com.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WOW25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WOW25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WOW25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code WOW25.
If you're craving something delicious, find your way to the Pasta Factory, where everything's made from scratch daily. Their fresh sauces, cakes, quiche, dressings, and soups are sure to tantalize your taste buds. And all pasta entrees are cooked, baked, and tossed to order. Don't leave without sampling those homemade desserts, lovingly crafted by Jason and Rob. Good. The Pasta Factory. Visit them at 3103 West Broadway Business Park, right in front of Walmart. Closed Mondays and Tuesdays. The Pasta Factory, where fresh meets flavor.
They can't shoot it straight on the golf course, but they can shoot straight on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Back to Andy and Brendan on The Big Show on KTGR.
We're trying our hardest, I suppose, everything possible to try to keep the Pro Bowl alive and relevant and interesting to look at. The Pro Bowl is moving to Tuesday of Super Bowl week. First of all, I think they're moving it to the same location where the Super Bowl is. That hasn't been the case in years past. Obviously, they were in Hawaii for the longest time. I think they moved it to Vegas for the past few years. But they're going to be where the Super Bowl is this year, and it's going to be on Tuesday. Okay, cool. I don't know if that's going to work. I think that might be worse for people wanting to watch the Pro Bowl, actually.
Again, every time we bring this topic up, it is against my will because I don't know why we care about whether the Pro Bowl is or isn't working. But what I will say is I think Tuesday of the Super Bowl week, there's a lot of other people who aren't playing in the Super Bowl, players that go anyway, like that go to the festivities and are around. So it might be better to get player participation if it's ahead of the Super Bowl because everybody's eyes are still on the sport. And so like maybe that's part of the thought process. But no, I mean, the degree to which I am compelled to care or not care about the Pro Bowl is not high on my list of concerns. But if I had to guess, that's the reason that they're doing
more
it.
player driven than
Could
caring
be
about whether people watch or anything like that or people attend, which I guess it is fine. Like do something for the players. That's for sure. That wouldn't be bad, but I just
Under the bus.
So many changes over the last 10-ish years to that.
Is a flag still a flag football game?
Is
that the deal?
Football game, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I guess was driven toward player participation just because nobody was tackling anyway.
Right.
So.
And want to make it somewhat interesting. And hey, tryouts for 2028, you know? Right?
There was a comment made during the LSU Vanderbilt game that posed Diego Pavia for flag football Olympics. And honestly,
I'd be on board.
Pretty good idea, probably.
I'd root for Diego Pavia in that setting, no doubt. Also, under the bus, to maybe we can decide under the bus more to Russell Wilson or Sean Payton, and maybe the little spat they had. Sean Payton kind of calling out Russell Wilson a little bit, saying, "Oh, I wish the Giants maybe would have waited to make that quarterback change. You know, maybe after we played them, so we didn't have to face Jackson Dart." And then Russell Wilson, a little bit out of character from him, takes to Twitter and says, quote, "Classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media."
Wow.
I'm kind of on Wilson's side on that one a little bit.
Help me out. I'm going brain fart. Sean Payton, was he coaching Russell Wilson in Denver?
No,
he was,
but Wilson was referring to the bounty hunting situation in New Orleans.
But I just wanted to make sure I had the backstory. He was, when Russell Wilson was there in Denver, Payton was the coach at that time. Okay.
For one of the years, and then Payton was ultimately the one that said, "I don't want this guy.
Yes.
The owner needs to pay a whole bunch of money to make him go away." Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson apparently not fond of Sean Payton, and maybe understandably so.
No, I just both of those in that situation.
Under
but
the bus.
It's like Russell Wilson in that spot. Like you don't think of Russell Wilson being the guy that comes after someone through like social media or through a comment in an interview or anything like that, but felt the need to do so against Sean Payton. I think that's notable. All right, Mizzou is playing Vandy. I know most of you are hating Vandy this week in preparation for the game, but this is pretty cool. apparently Vandy's kicker, Brock Taylor, he's their starting kicker, right? He's their guy, I believe. He's holding kicking clinic coming up very soon this week for students who are maybe wanting to try or have a chance at the kicking challenge that Pat McAfee does every game day, where he lets some student kick a field goal, and it's like $400,000, I think, was the prize money last week. I can't remember if the guy got it or not, but
guy didn't make the kick, but they did give some away to charity because they brought Rodrigo Blankenship in to like do the charity kick.
Okay.
Which was like kind of, I was like, I think he'll make a 33-yard field goal, but be embarrassing if he doesn't.
Right.
For $600,000 of charity.
There. Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's kind of cool. The Vandy kicker trying to help out students in that way. How about that?
Which is kind of savvy. Like, I don't know that anybody's really thought of that. And everybody's obviously excited for the game day crew to come to Vanderbilt and understand that there's a lot of money that can be on the line if you're in that raffle, I guess, that they do for the kickoffs. I can't wait to see. I've been reading about it. Like, they have camping prohibited on campus generally, but will they let students like camp out to do the game day stuff? I'm interested in the whole thing, but it's more about them, Andy. It's not for us.
Well, obviously, according to Eli Drinkwitz, that's certainly the case. All right. We'll update our SEC football tiers at 5:05. And by Brendan's request, the top 5, bottom 5 head coaches in the NFL. Is Vrabel on either list? We'll discuss.
You've already met a few members of the Family Pond family. Now it's time to meet the newest one. Family Pond's South Columbia location is just off South Providence. And just like every family pond, it's got a personality all its own. Different jewelry, different tools, different gadgets and gear. That's the beauty of the family. No two stores are exactly alike. So after you stop by your favorite, swing by South Columbia. It's your newest Family Pond store to explore.
Not your traditional pawn shop. Family Pond.
Always ahead of the curve? Seem to know what's going to happen? Like a prophet? Prove it, Nostradamus, with Profit Shares. Predict the outcome of every black and gold game or whoever your favorite team is. It's all at Profit Shares, and it doesn't cost a thing to play. Make your predictions risk-free and win prizes like gift cards to Amazon, Chick-fil-A, and other favorites. Or donate your winnings to charities. Contests are open now. Play for free at ProfitShares.com. PROPHET shares.com. On game day, every needs and every tailgate needs Kingsford charcoal and a match. Whatever lot you're in, whatever you're grilling up for your fellow Tiger tailgaters, Kingsford charcoal is the official charcoal of Missouri football. Without it, you're just standing around in a parking lot. Since 1920, Kingsford has been proud to fire up your tailgates with friends and family. Kingsford.com.
Buckeye Buyers Club members get a 5% rebate on every purchase now through the end of the year. That's right, 5% of your entire purchase will be given back to you as a Buckeye gift card on top of your already great deals. All you have to do is use your Buckeye Buyers Club account at checkout. Not a member yet? Join today for free by visiting Buckeyes.com and clicking on the Buyers Club sign-up button. It's easy, it's free, and it's only at Buckeye. Shop online anytime at Buckeyes.com.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, in Missouri's total sports station. KTGR Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. No Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. Monday night against the Chiefs, Washington's franchise quarterback out with a hamstring injury. He missed 2 games earlier this season with a sprained knee. ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
Second time this year he's going to miss time because of an injury. Mm-hmm. Is it going to impact the way that they call plays? Is it going to impact the way that he plays stylistically? And can they have the season that they kind of expected coming into this year too? So I'm hoping he's going to be healthy as soon as possible, but I do believe it's going to have a butterfly effect of how he plays.
Marcus Mariota will start in place of Daniels again this week. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson returned to practice after missing the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. 1-5 Baltimore outscored 61-13 in the 2 games that he missed. NBA, big boost for the Magic for tonight's season. weeks from an arthroscopic knee procedure at home versus Miami. The Giants hired Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello as their new manager. First time a Major League Baseball team's hired a manager directly from a college program without any experience as a pro coach. San Francisco's paying his $3 million buyout at Tennessee.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
From Faro. 15 to the 10, to the house. Bush.
Back to the wall, and it's got her.
And Arrowhead.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
To your speakers.
This is the big show, baby.
Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is The Big Show with Andy and Brendan on KTGR.
I am excited to update my SEC football tiers after last weekend's chaos across the Southeastern Conference. That's what we're going to get to coming up in just a few minutes here. And then by request of me, we're going to do top 5, bottom 5 NFL head coaches coming up at 5:25 because I was kind of poking the bear yesterday about the Mike Vrabel stuff. And I don't know, I think he's working his way up there into that top 5 conversation. Will I put him there? Will Andy put him in the bottom 5 is maybe a better question. We can get all to that at 5:25. You can call or text us, join today's program, where we're going to try to line this up. Listen to a clip of Eli Drinkwitz from Feinbaum today that I think it's going to pour more gasoline, in my opinion, on this coaching stuff, but he's answering it in, as a Feinbaum himself phrased, a very political way. So I think that's kind of interesting to get into too. To call or text us, it's 573-875-KTGR. But first, it's 5 o'clock.
This will be the most unique quarterback test that Mizzou has to solve this season. I think that's absolutely true with Diego Pavia on the other side for Vanderbilt. Is he the best quarterback? I don't know, but I think he is the most unique, and he's the one that can cause you the most fits based on how you approach him. There will be times where he leaks out and he burns you with his legs or even with his arm. He's been a much better passer this year, but Mizzou will just have to weather some of those punches and still make sure that they can get some big plays defensively, maybe an interception or a turnover that can flip the game. Who knows? But that's the test. And look, Mizzou's offense is going to have to match him. I think this could be a lot of points scored between these two sides. Mizzou's offense needs to get the run game going as they face Vanderbilt 2:30 on Saturday. It's a little easier, I think, for the Chiefs coming up on Monday. They won't have to face Jaden Daniels on Monday Night Football. Team announced, or Commanders said today, that he will miss the game due to the hamstring injury he suffered in the Cowboys game last weekend. And so it's Marcus Mariota for Washington in Kansas City. Of course, Kansas City was the quarterback that Mariota was facing the last time they didn't make the AFC Championship game. You remember that pass to himself where he scored the touchdown? Yeah, but we don't need any of those demons entering Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs take care of business. They'll be fine.
Number 3.
I have no idea if Tony Vitello to the San Francisco Giants is going to work, but color me intrigued. I can't wait to see how it's going to play out. First college coach to ever jump to MLB manager without any kind of professional coaching experience. And Vitello, the former Mizzou assistant coach, of course, he played at Mizzou as well, making that jump after winning a national title at Tennessee not too long ago. We'll see if that works out for the Giants. Bold move. We'll see if it provides the results.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it. A lot of things coming out of the NFL owners meeting this week. Pro Bowl's moving to Tuesday of Super Bowl week, which is kind of weird. But this also very interesting. NFL Executive Vice President Troy Vincent told team owners today that it may be time to look at the 4th and 15 proposal that has been offered as an alternate to the onside kick. Lack of recoveries on onside has disappointed the league. At least please consider it. I don't know if it's right, but consider it, NFL.
Number 5.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face.
Congrats to Mitch Morse. He's part of the SEC Legends class for football, and I think he's the first Mizzou Tiger in that class that actually played in the SEC.
That's the Big Show's Top 5 at 5 on KTGR.
573-875-KTGR. You want to call?
I was trying to research that today. They don't do every team doesn't get a legend every year. Is that accurate?
No, that's true. They all get legends every single year for all of the sports and for football. I looked at this is Wikipedia, but there is a list of the full ever since they've been doing this, which looks like it goes back to 94. There were a couple of years that they skipped, I think, for COVID, 2020 and 21. I don't know why they would have skipped in 21. But here's the list for Mizzou. When they started out in 2012, the first one was Johnny Rowland, which is a great name to start with. Phil Bradley, Kellen Winslow, Roger Worley, Justin Smith, Brad Smith, Devin West, Jeremy Macklin, Gary Pinkel, Chase Kaufman, and Chase Daniel. And I guess Pinkel technically coached in the SEC, but none of those players played in the SEC.
Yeah.
So Mitch Morse, the first one. Congrats to him. That's a great choice.
I did have that passing thought today too. I was like, okay, now we're
finally
somewhere. Our SEC legends. We're not Big 12 athletes. All right.
Yeah. There you go. It's gonna take a while for Oklahoma and Texas, I'm sure, to catch up to that. I think A&M just caught up to it. Manziel was included, I believe, in 2022. It says.
Yeah, he was in there, which makes sense. He was obviously a huge name. Going to be difficult though for Texas. You gotta have somebody be good first. I guess maybe Arch Manning was already named one. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Did they name him that down at? I think I missed that press conference.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, they might have named him one already.
He's a legacy legend. So
pretty good.
They're gonna honor him anyway. Call or text us at 875-KTGR. But that's great. Mitch Morse, congrats to him. Long NFL career, of course, and we'll see him get honored at the SEC football championship game in early December. I don't think Mizzou will be there based on how we'll see, but
why not
we'll get there? It could happen, I suppose. Got to win out though. I mean, got to win out.
If you did win out, there's so much that's going to happen. There's so many games that are going to be played. I feel like anybody in the SEC that's 7-1 is going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah,
is kind of my general
consensus. Be in the mix,
the way I'm approaching.
It just depends on how the tiebreakers go, and I have no clue.
Depends.
No clue how that'll
Too early to say. Too early to say.
All right, Billy, do we have the audio from Drinkwitz on Feinbaum? Let's get to this here. I have not heard this. Did Brendan, I guess,
so the way
heard some of it?
I heard it. I listened to it during a break because I saw that Gabe DeArmond, his Power Mizzou Twitter account, tweeted out and said, rarely do you see a guest make Paul Feinbaum look so speechless at the end of an answer. And it's a little lengthy, but I think it's worth our time. If you've got, Billy, the question from Feinbaum and then the answer from Eli Drinkwitz.
He's about to get it, I think.
Queuing it up.
Cue it up.
Question, I'm sure it's going to get a predictable response, and I'm not trying to be disruptive here, but I've interviewed a lot of coaches over the years who, when I ask a question like I'm about to ask, they say they're only focused on the game. And by the way, that's probably the right answer. But Coach, your name gets thrown around a lot. And my question is it distracting when you're trying to prepare and everybody's mentioning that you're going here and there?
It's probably no more distracting than trying to decide if you're going to run for United States Senate. There's a lot of different things out there that you just got to factor in. The reality is, for me, we addressed it as a team. We addressed it as a staff. All that stuff is all fake right now. It's October 20, whatever. Like, the only thing that matters is us playing Vanderbilt. And we have an opportunity in front of us right now that doesn't come very often at the University of Missouri. And I'll be damned if I let distractions or outside noise or people try to influence that through social media, which, by the way, isn't real. Okay. There is no candidacy list. I don't care what's on 24/7. There is no people calling. What's really matters for us right now is having the best winning Wednesday practice that we can have to take advantage of the moment in time. This football team, these boosters, these fans, they put a whole lot for us to be focused on the right here, right now. And whether or not you run for Senate, that's up to you.
Bang! There was a little more there where Feinbaum just kind of, he stumbles. He says, it was the back and forth even after that was interesting, where Feinbaum kind of told him, I've heard political answers in my day, but Feinbaum almost referenced with Drink bringing in the politics and obviously everything surrounding Paul Feinbaum over the last number of weeks. But Feinbaum almost kind of threw it back, and they're both having fun. I'm not trying to imply it's anything sinister, but Feinbaum throwing it back, that as we get past the obvious, like, Drink was ready with that one and couldn't even get through his answer. He was kind of, laughing through, knowing the way that it made Paul Feinbaum kind of react. But that aside, he's right. Everything's focused on Vanderbilt, but I will just admit that his answer doesn't do anything to dissuade me from thinking that this is going to be a thing that we have to talk about in December.
Oh, well, yeah, it's still
it's not going away.
Pushed down the road. But it will come up eventually.
There are coaches that, like, you can answer these questions one of two ways. You can do that way, which was very effective, obviously, and kind of put Feinbaum on the defensive a little bit. Or you can say, I'm not going anywhere. But then, obviously, if you say I'm not going anywhere and you don't, and you might
don't believe it, right?
Or if it later proves not to be true, you have then said something that people can use that as ammo against you. And so I'll say it's a political answer where, if such time arises that he goes to Florida or Penn State or wherever else, nobody will be able to say that he said something that he then lied about or whatever. Like, it's which scares me a little bit as a Mizzou fan, that it is a very political answer, and just how good he is at giving those. Feinbaum told him that he should run for politics, and Drink said, I will. I just have to beat Vanderbilt first. And so there's a lot tongue-in-cheek about that. We shouldn't go too far taking it, too seriously, Andy. But what's your reaction to hearing that for the first time live?
I mean, I don't really change my opinion on whether he's going or staying by any of that. I just think it's funny. Like, he threw it right back at Feinbaum, man.
It was funny.
That's well done. There will not be I hope it doesn't develop, because that would take away the value of this exchange. But let's not have like a Paul Feinbaum versus Lane Kiffin type of thing with these two. Like, keep the Lane and Paul
I
stuff.
thought that was banter. I mean, that was largely banter.
Yeah.
Feinbaum.
Now it is, at least. Maybe they buried the hatchet a while ago, and now it is all banter. They are playing a bit. I think it's awesome.
Between who? Lane and
Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah. I'm talking about Drink. I didn't find that to be anything, sinister. But Paul Feinbaum, I think, is probably pretty plugged in. And so, like, his degree of knowing maybe what could be going on behind the scenes. I thought it was notable that Drink said nobody's calling, because there's been people reporting and said, our guy Brandon Walker was, because he can't help himself, going back and forth with Mizzou fans and said, well, you should check, the phone of your coach's agent and ask where those call logs are. So, like, there's insinuations out there. Drink has been steadfast that's social media, that's not real. But, like,
if the agents are getting calls, like, whatever. Like, I would be surprised
if his agent isn't getting calls.
Exactly.
I would be surprised by that.
Yeah.
But when Drink kind of tamps down the rumors, the way that he does it is to say it's October 22nd. It's not time to talk about that yet, which is not to say that there's not going to be a time to talk about that in a couple of months.
No doubt.
And, like, that's why my preference is Mizzou contract extension now. And, like, maybe they want to. He's got to sign it too.
Yep.
But also it can't be a distraction, because Vanderbilt's the most important thing. I think Mizzou fans understand how important Drink has been to the rise of this program. And so it's respect to him and what he's built that people want to talk about it in October, even though they're still focused on the season. Just to contextualize, like, my stance as a Mizzou fan, right? Like, that's how I view it. It's always on the back of the mind, especially as more of these openings keep coming up. But I just thought that was timely, because it was a pretty funny answer, and kind of feeds the fire just a little bit too of, he's not saying no, but he's just saying, like, that's not the topic right now. Right. So time will tell.
Which is fine. Like, it's within his right to do that. So
it's what he has to do.
It's what he has to do.
I don't have to love it. Sign him.
Yeah.
Give him more money. I don't care.
875 KTGR. Call or text us with your Drinkwitz thoughts or anything like that. In the meantime, we'll update our SEC football tiers now.
Let's do it.
I don't know if you're going to make a change, Brendan. I think you probably have it at the.
Did I nail it?
Well, not like no changes whatsoever. I'm mostly saying at
perfect.
the top.
I'm unimpeachable.
I mean, I think you have the top correct. I think to this week, you had it last week. I think this week your top should be unchanged. Georgia, A&M, Alabama at the top. I think that's right.
Help me out. What happened? Georgia beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So they're remaining. I had Ole Miss in a second tier by themselves. They may drop. to join their brethren beneath them. A&M beat Arkansas kind of barely, but road games are tough. That was a road game, right? Yeah, they played that in Fayetteville. And Alabama did what? Jog my memory.
Alabama crushed Tennessee, man.
They weren't on. They were technically on bye. They crushed Tennessee.
Oh!
Yeah, you're right. That's not. Look, we don't play the Vols this year, and they just lost their coach today.
Man.
So there's really nothing that I have to fear right now when it comes to those.
Not their football coach, though. The baseball coach, but yes.
Yeah, the best coach on campus has departed, and now they have to pick up the pieces.
Under the
and it's been look. Those Vandy fans are a little spicy on social media, and I've been pro Vandy. A lot of them are real nice, though. But they obviously hate Tennessee. So this might be just the best day to be a Vanderbilt fan, like anticipating the football game this weekend, anticipating game day, and being able to dunk on one of your rivals.
Baseball fans are ready for that. That's a brewing baseball rivalry, no doubt.
If you're a Vandy fan, you are a Vandy baseball fan as well. That is as big of a sport for them as any. So I just kind of wanted to throw that shot in there. But you're right. I'll go A&M, Bama, Georgia at the top. Don't need to make a change at the top. Well, you, though, you had Ole Miss and Georgia.
I had Ole Miss there. I will have the same top as you. I'll have A&M, Bama, and Georgia. What I considered, actually, was making Alabama in their own tier.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
A&M hasn't done anything to tell me that they're not in the same category.
That's kind of what I was sort of going back and forth on. Like, the A&M has been flawless to this point. They are the only undefeated SEC team overall. And so why would
you
you
think
them?
Better, though?
I think Alabama's better. So, like, maybe I should do it. But, yeah, for now, I'll say that they're still in the same team. And, like, I can't necessarily say that Georgia is any worse based on how they've played either.
If you play Georgia, Bama 10 times, they're probably someone's winning 4 times, someone's winning 6 times. But to lose at home does maybe say Alabama's got the edge over Georgia for right now.
Yeah, so there's that. Ole Miss is in my second tier still. LSU, I had them in the second tier. Let's see. I mean, this is where it gets a little bit difficult.
I think it's easy for me.
Because I don't think, like, LSU can still win out and they're good, but that's not that. Ole Miss has more of a cushion to getting to the CFP. And my gosh, their schedule is so
easy,
manageable.
But this is a blend for me of like schedule, predicting CFP, but also how good you are. So I'm kind of
how good you are. Yeah, that's true.
I always laissez-faire with it. I make up my own rules. I vibe. The tiers are based on vibes, and LSU does not pass the vibe check for me as a tier 2 team.
All right, so here's what I'll do. Actually,
okay.
You've convinced me that I should put Alabama in its own tier by itself. So I'm going to do that.
Because based on the vibes, that's how you feel.
Look,
I like you
they're
getting
best
bold.
team in the SEC. That can change, no doubt. I don't know if they'll finish the season that way, but can you definitively say that A&M is playing better than Bama at the moment? Like, I can't.
No, I wouldn't put Bama. I wouldn't put A&M above Bama, but I don't have them in a separate tier. But the way that, even though LSU is not a tier 1 or 2 team for me, the way that A&M handles that environment on the road this weekend will, I think, color that's a data point. Some of these teams, I've got it. For Bama, I think I've got the data points that I need. I know how good they are. For A&M, they haven't failed, but I need another data point of a tougher game.
More
and I think this will be
that it will hold up season long. Yeah.
This will help. I know that LSU is not a great team, in my opinion, but I think it's on the road. And it's in a spot where LSU really needs one. And so I think how A&M handles that game could, like, if they lose it, obviously, I would probably have to drop them because of my lack of belief in LSU. If they win it close, I might be able to say, okay, but Bama's better. So I'll be consistent with my top 3 for now. But I like that you've got the boldness to go Bama in tier 1 by themselves, because I do think they're the best team as of right now.
Okay, and then so that means I'll put A&M and Georgia and Ole Miss in my second tier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me,
Ole Miss, that's a tough game to play at Georgia, and they lose.
They were in it
by a single digit.
They were in it. So I don't think you ding them too much for it. I think they should be on the same plane as Georgia, and so we'll see what that looks like. LSU should be in this next tier. Should they? Here's what I'll do. The next tier should be Mizzou, Vandy, Oklahoma. And I mean, I guess the tier below that should be LSU, Tennessee, and Texas, because that's the delineation. There is no
Interesting.
Can't lose again. Can't lose again if you want to be in the CFP for all three of those teams. Can't lose again. Lost the margin for error.
So I actually, when I wrote these out before the show, I did some prep, and I thought I would have LSU in a higher tier than Texas, and now I'm kind of going, yeah, they're about the same, aren't they?
Yeah,
but I wanted to. Here's what my thought was. I wanted to punish Texas for the way they played at Kentucky, because I think that's a definitive bottom tier team, and they frankly could have and should have lost that game to Kentucky, but it didn't. In the same way that Missouri wasn't impacted by the how of winning at Auburn, Texas is not impacted in their CFP dreams by the how at Kentucky. I suppose.
I mean, still the SEC. I know it's to Kentucky. It is a step below most teams, pretty much all teams. But I mean, I think Texas. I didn't have my opinion changed on Texas based on that game, and so I would say that I wouldn't necessarily move them down from where that was. So I'll say that they're still in that tier with Tennessee and LSU. But again, like, that's the thin ice tier. That's like the big preseason expectations for all three of those. And now, based on how results have gone, whether they were supposed to get those results or not, doesn't matter. Like, you're up against the wall. And so you're fighting between, like, if you win out, then you'll be in the mix for the CFP. And if not, well, you'll just be looking at the bowl projections and see what, group of pool of 6 bowl you're going to be in.
So those 10 teams are comprising your top 4 tiers.
Yes.
And they're technically all still alive for CFP. Yeah. Okay.
And after that, Auburn remains, I think, Auburn and Alabama, or Auburn and Arkansas are in a tier. And then it's Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State for me. And then Kentucky at the end.
So Kentucky was by themselves last week for both of us, and that's going to probably end up being the same. Well, I mean, we'll see. Let me ask about, how do you separate Auburn, Arkansas from Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State?
At some point, it is mostly on vibes. At some point, both of those two teams will pull an upset that screws somebody up. Mizzou lucky that it was not that. Mizzou is lucky that it was not them this past weekend. So I think that's still the case. Auburn, rest of the season, has at Vandy and home against Alabama. I predict they will win at least one of those games.
Okay. So I'm having a hard time with those 5 teams, trying to figure out where I draw a line. Like, Mississippi State should have beaten Florida. Florida should have lost to Mississippi State. South Carolina is kind of where I'm wanting to be a little bit punitive, actually, because I don't think anymore that they do have the goods to be one of those teams. Like,
no, I don't think so either.
Like, Auburn and Arkansas, totally agree. I still think Florida can be one of those teams, though. Mississippi State could maybe be one of those teams, but I'm going to only say that because they still play Mizzou, and I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Well, I see Florida and Mississippi State. The game that they played this past weekend does not surprise me in the one bit. They're both flawed, and someone had to win it. And it's fitting that a bonehead mistake was essentially what sealed it for one of the teams. And then that one team still fired their coach the next day. So, like, it's just like, I think they're pretty much on the same plane. But South Carolina feels that way too. Like, if they were really live, South Carolina, then they would have put up more of a fight against Oklahoma this past weekend.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I maybe am biased because I'm going to have Oklahoma in my 3rd tier as well, which, the rankings would suggest that I should have them higher than that. I don't know offhand where they are in the AP poll, but I know it's top whatever at this point.
Well, they lost. They had a loss a couple weeks ago. I believe they're 13.
They're 13. And so they went up 1 spot after they dropped because of the loss to Texas. I think they were like 8 or so.
Yeah.
And then they dropped, and now they're up to 13 again. They're making their climb if they can continue winning games. I just don't believe in them. And, like, they beat up on South Carolina. I have a hard time because I want to still consider Mizzou to be this team, and I want to give them this credit, but if I'm playing the transitive property game, Mizzou had a lot harder of a time with South Carolina than some of these other teams are having.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to basically choose to ignore that as a Mizzou fan right now. And I'll put Ole Miss, Mizzou, and Vandy in my second tier. That's my second tier.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm basically calling out, I guess, Tennessee, because I just think the record might indicate CFP's on the table. I just don't think they're going to get there. Oklahoma, same thing. LSU, same thing. And I almost think there's a gap between how good those teams are and Texas, even though Texas has the conceivable ability to win out and make the playoff. I believe even less in their ability to do it because I flat am pretty sure they're not good. And Tennessee, Oklahoma, LSU, they definitely might be good still. I just haven't seen enough to be convinced that they are. I'm pretty confident Vandy's good. Pretty sure Ole Miss is good. Maybe not great. And I'm going to continue to believe in my heart that Mizzou's good. Even though that Auburn game was tough, I still think it's all part of the process. So I'm going A&M, Bama, Georgia is tier 1. Ole Miss, Mizzou, Vanderbilt is tier 2. Tennessee, Oklahoma, LSU is tier 3. I'm going to put Texas in tier 4. And for now, I'm going to put them there by themselves. Because if I put anybody else in there that's got a much worse record, that just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, we could see Texas still kind of slip to be maybe having the same record as one of those type of teams at the end. We'll see. But for now, Texas, because of their record, still only 2 losses, they're going to be spared from that treatment. And then as I kind of figure out my bottom couple of tiers here, what I've got down is Arkansas, Auburn. I believe that they're in the same tier, and that's right. Florida, I think, is still in that tier for me as well, though.
Okay.
And then I'll go Mississippi State. And I'm actually going to put South Carolina and Kentucky in the same tier at the bottom this week.
Oh, man, I don't know about that.
I'm going to give Kentucky a little bit of credit because, again, if we're going to talk about fighting and almost being able to pull off an upset, Mississippi State almost pulled one off.
Okay.
Kentucky almost pulled one off. South Carolina hasn't even done an almost. So I'm going to stop giving credit because of their name. They're a bottom tier team until they prove otherwise to me. Mississippi State, I'm giving a little bit of credit to. So maybe I've got even a 7th tier as a result of those choices, Andy, because I'm kind of putting a couple of teams in timeout right now. It's Texas, not including them at the cool kids table of tier 3, and it's Mississippi State. I'm sparing Mississippi State from just being at the bottom because I still think that they have a little bit more of a leg up on South Carolina and Kentucky. But Arkansas, Auburn, and Florida are going to be live in just about every game that they play. I still think that each of them could win a game. South Carolina and Kentucky cannot.
Call or text us with your SEC football tiers, 573-875-KTGR. Steve wants to get his tiers in. Let's go to Steve on the KTGR hotline. What you got, Steve?
Actually, this is Jim.
Oh, Jim, here on the big show. Sorry, I got your name wrong, man. That's under the bus to me. I'm going to honk the horn on myself. Sorry.
Under the bus.
Jim.
It's all good. It's been a couple of years, and that's how I'm welcomed back. The wrong name.
All good.
All good.
What you got?
Appreciate this. Tiers. I agree with your conversation a little while ago. I think you got to have Alabama 1A by themselves. They've shown it on the field against 4 straight top 20 teams. I think they're alone in the SEC at the top. Then I agree it's going to be Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia. I guess you could call them 1B. I'm honestly going to put Missouri, Vandy, and Oklahoma at the next tier. And then I kind of agree with what Brendan was just saying. I don't think Tennessee or LSU are going to get there, but they're going to probably have a chance if they win out, but I don't think they're going to. Then I definitely put Texas below everybody else. They just have not been impressive on the field. And I'm talking about teams who actually have a chance to make it. So I would put Texas at the bottom of the 10 teams that I actually see having a chance to make the playoff right now. And then any combination of, I guess you could probably put Auburn and Arkansas next by themselves, then maybe Kentucky and Florida next by themselves, and then maybe Mississippi State and USC East by themselves.
Oh, man. Yeah.
South Carolina has not impressed me.
It's good tiers. Appreciate the call, Jim, here on the big show. I don't doubt it. Like, that's, if you want to be punitive against South Carolina, certainly relative to expectations, that is fair. Certainly.
I'm enjoying every time Shane Beamer pops up on my Twitter timeline anymore, because I click it and I watch it and I bask in whatever is being talked about for that South Carolina team right now, because they're a little bit in shambles. over at the other Columbia.
So those are our SEC football tiers. Flashing them up on our YouTube and Facebook channels if you want to.
You had 7
see
too,
that.
huh?
Yeah, we both had 7 tiers. We're starting to lengthen out.
We're putting
bit.
Billy on his toes with that.
Yeah, he's
changing the number.
The graphic has been a little bit different. 875-KTGR if you want to weigh in on your SEC football tiers. We'll weigh in next on our top 5, bottom 5 NFL head coaches. Will Vrabel make either list for either of us? We'll get to that.
Breaking down the Tigers, Cardinals, Chiefs, and more like no one else. The Big Show continues next on KTGR.
Hi, everyone. Andy Humphrey here for ProfitShares.com. Now is a great time to join up on ProfitShares if you haven't already. If you like getting sports predictions right, and you like winning gift cards, or you like helping out some great nonprofits, ProfitShares.com is for you. It's totally free to play. You just sign up. They start you out with an allotment of profit dollars. Those are the credits that you can use to then enter into several weekly contests, compete against others, get your predictions right, climb up the leaderboard, and earn more profit dollars, which you can then use to redeem for gift cards or make charitable donations from Profit Shares on your behalf, or even play for a cause, play for your favorite nonprofit, or play for your favorite school. So with football happening, you've got college and pro weekly contests that you can enter into. Basketball season is back. You can get predictions in on Profit Shares for that. Baseball postseason, so much more. Go and check out ProfitShares.com. That's PROPHET shares.com. Sign up, invite your friends, and good luck.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm Michael Agnew with API Project Fitness. At API, we're dedicated to helping you reach your fitness goals with workouts that are motivating, challenging, and effective. Our group classes are high energy and designed to maximize your time with efficient movements and smooth flow. There are real results here to find, whether you're just starting out or ready to push it to the next level. API is where hard work meets progress. Everyone needs a fitness routine. Let us be yours. Sign up today for a free trial at apiprojectfitness.com.
Hey, it's Molly from Billiards, and we're gearing up for football, y'all.
Molly, football's already going. Take 2.
Guess it's time to put on my cuddle duds.
Molly, that's not till November. Take 3.
Well, I guess we'll talk about the pumpkin spice menu items at Billiards.
Molly, at last check, we have nothing on the menu with pumpkin spice. Take 4, and you hate it.
When some things feel wrong, Billiards just feels right.
Yep, that'll work.
Looking on down for burgers and beer. Billiards on Broadway.
Oops, don't know if I saved that.
Josh!
Shangri-La is proud to be a part of every black and gold home game this season at the Zimmer Tiger Tailgate. Swing by our tent to play games, win prizes, and hang out with Missouri's top team of cannabis aficionados. Want to join the fun? Pick up your free Tiger Tailgate tickets at any Shangri-La location. Then come find us on game day. We'll be bringing the energy, the prizes, and the community spirit that makes Tiger football unforgettable. Shangri-La Dispensaries is paradise found. ShangriLaDispensaries.com.
Tired of calling Andy and Brendan? So are their wives. Then shoot them a text right now. 573-875-KTGR and become part of the Big Show.
Who do you think is atop the SEC tiers? 875-KTGR. Adam says, I've said it before, A&M, best team in the SEC. I mean, yeah, they have the best record. I am still trying to forecast this. They will stumble eventually. And after the first stumble, will there be more? Because that's what happened last year. They had several places where they tripped up and just could not recover from. So I don't know. We'll see. Very interested by that. All right. Let's get now to our top 5, bottom 5 NFL head coaches for right now, essentially. With a lot of talk around whether Mike Vrabel should be in either list. Will Brendan put him in his top 5? Will I put him in my bottom 5? I don't know.
Where do you want to begin, though, with this?
Let's start with the top 5. Let's start with the top 5.
Okay.
1 through 5 here, because I think it's pretty straightforward who the best coach in the NFL is today.
Okay. You're going to say Andy Reid.
Yeah, I am. Are we agreeing?
What's funny is I put him there just because I don't want to have to argue with you about it today. So I also don't really have a candidate that I feel extremely strongly about. And if we're going to talk about like what he's accomplished, there's not really anybody that I also think is still operating on that level and it has accomplished the stuff that Andy Reid has. Like there's guys who've won before, but like I don't have some coaches that have won anywhere near this list. Like I think most years we probably have John Harbaugh on our list. He's not on my top 5 right now.
No,
he's probably still a top, coach, but I'm going to at least talk about it in the context of this season. But no, I'm not going to dock Andy Reid because the Chiefs have 3 losses. I'm still putting my chips on Andy Reid. So yeah, I put him at number 1. I could have, had some fun with it, but I just didn't feel strongly enough about my number 2. My number 2 is Dan Campbell, though. I have him at number 2.
Okay. All right.
I just think he's a stud.
Yeah. I mean,
I sound like you have somebody else, which is fine.
Well, no,
I'm curious.
I have him very high on this list, so I'm not necessarily disagreeing. Here's who I have at number 2. I did not have this guy in my top 5 last time we did this, which I think was last year. And
yeah, I don't remember it that well.
And
so mine will be different.
Thinking back on this, like I was thinking, man, what a fool am I? I should have put that guy in there. They very easily is a top 5 NFL head coach, and he's probably number 2 right now. It's Sean McVay. Sean McVay now has a track record that you can look back on and say, like, teams that maybe rosters that you would expect to underachieve didn't under his leadership. Has a Super Bowl, been to another Super Bowl. Like, it's not to the point where, like, every time you shake Sean McVay's hand, you're immediately a coaching candidate for an open job. Like that.
It was like that for a while,
like 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, like he has proven to be, to me, the second best coach. I think maybe why I docked him was like, it was kind of a lot of the chatter of around, does he still want to do this? Because there was that kind of aspect of it too. Like, is he going to be long for the job? Does he want to do something else? But like, I think it's pretty clear at the position that he is at, he is doing the second best job right now.
Yeah, whether he is or he isn't long for it, if I'm him, I still see him leaving coaching within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Like I just think he'll have made money. He's young, can kind of do what he wants.
Yeah.
He just seems like not a guy that's going to be in it for the next 30 years, like some guys. So, but you made a compelling case. McVay was my number 3. So we're not really too different there.
Campbell's my number 3. Like he's right behind him, and Campbell's been awesome. Every single one of those teams that he has had last few years or so has been very dangerous and everything. Maybe what docked him a little bit was kind of the playoff success. Like he hasn't gotten over that hump yet. So
sure, it's not been that long that he's been trying to.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's fair criticism. I mean,
look, last year should they have lost to that Commanders team?
Yeah.
No, should not have.
They were favored and they lost embarrassingly.
So I've got him at number 3 there. Who's your number 4?
Well, I want to crowdsource some of this. I'm not committing to 4 and 5. I want to talk about the spots because I don't really feel super strongly, and sometimes I feel like we might overlook guys. So I've got Kyle Shanahan as a nomination for number 4.
All right.
And I have Kevin O'Connell as a nomination for number 5.
Okay.
Kind of similar vein to the McVay stuff, just hasn't really gotten as far, but hasn't had the rosters that McVay has had. Those are 2 guys that I'm considering putting in at 4 and 5. Who do you have that I need to be thinking about that I'm not thinking about?
So, ironically enough, I have Kyle Shanahan at number 5.
Okay, so he was on your list.
So he was on my list. I went back and forth on who 5 should be. McConnell came up. I thought probably not. LaFleur came up.
Yeah, I had him last time. I
have LaFleur and McConnell is very similar to each other.
O'Connell, Kevin O'Connell.
O'Connell, is that what I did? Okay, Kevin O'Connell. Yes, that's
not. What's the senator? McConnell. Mitch McConnell,
did I
not
say
him.
McConnell?
Yeah.
Dang it.
So
okay.
Mitch McConnell will be coaching the Vikings moving forward.
Good luck to them.
That'd be something.
Kevin O'Connell and Matt LaFleur. I was now questioning whether I knew Matt
Mike
LaFleur's name. Mike. No.
Yeah. Matt LaFleur.
Very
and
similar coaches. And so I couldn't separate them, and it felt unfair to like make one 5 and the other one not. So I didn't have that. There were some others that came up. Here's my number 4. Maybe it surprises you a little bit, but I still kind of go off a track record on a lot of this stuff, but also this season because I didn't think it was going to work out, but so far it is.
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that.
Number 4 right now.
Yeah.
And I look for managing the ego that is Aaron Rodgers
I
to this point. Like it's that I had Aaron Rodgers last year as my my worst head coach.
You did have Aaron Rodgers in your
that's what he
5.
was in New York.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, but look, that's been a decent job to this point for that type of team. There's
Tomlin
a lot
is like perennially the number 6 coach in the NFL.
I think
though,
so,
for me.
and
like he's always number 6,
and it doesn't
because
mean
he's
that
always good.
And it doesn't mean that if it doesn't work out this year and the Steelers don't hold up and they're not a playoff team, or maybe they just barely make it and they have another one of those years, then it wouldn't.
A Steelers year.
Like it wouldn't be surprising to me if they move on from Tomlin, but I don't think it should ding the type of coach that Tomlin is. I think
I agree.
Been perpetually one of the 5 best coaches in the NFL.
And like I've gone back and forth with Kyle Shanahan before, where I've been a hater at times, but that Thursday night game against the Rams, I was like, of course he's going to do this. I mean, he's got literally a bunch of practice squad guys, and he is rolling a good Rams team and a guy that's higher on our list in Sean McVay. So I think I'll keep Shanahan at 4. Kevin O'Connell, I think, is really good. I hear you on the Tomlin thing. I'm not really ready to talk about either Harbaugh right now. I think they're both top half, but
I had Jim Harbaugh as 5 last time, but I couldn't do it this time.
In the here and now, I think they're both good. I think the NFL's got a good crop of a dozen plus head coaches. Yeah. Like right now, we might have to be giving some credit to Shane Steichen. Like with what he's doing with the Colts, he's making a name for himself.
Or Mike McDonald with the 5-2 Seahawks team.
Yeah, man. So there's some other compelling cases. I wasn't ready to go to those yet. I've got at least the last couple of years to lean back on with Kevin O'Connell. Like, I don't know about JJ McCarthy, and I'm not really sure that Carson Wentz is great, right? Obviously. So the fact that I think the Vikings are kind of still in the mix, I'm inclined to give him the credit, but that would be the one spot that I don't feel as strongly about. Could totally go Mike Tomlin, and I think that would be right too, because there's a good track record there. I'm projecting a little bit with Kevin O'Connell though, because I think if he gets the right pieces in place, the Vikings with him are going to have that success.
See, if he pinched my arm, I would try to find a way to put Matt LaFleur on the list, but it seemed a little too crowded for me.
And I didn't go Vrabel. I would say Vrabel is certainly for me top half.
Yeah.
But I did not, as much as I had fun with it yesterday. I looked at it. I thought about it. I just don't really have him above some of these other guys. But I would say he's probably top 10 for me. Okay. Mike Vrabel.
All right. Well, we'll see if he makes my bottom 5 later. 875 KTGR.
Fair enough.
If you want to call or text us, that'll be on the other side of this break, on the other side of this live local sports center as well. Text us your top 5, bottom 5 NFL head coaches too.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Billy Jones. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. That's rounded rubber. Lee sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz continuing to downplay college game days. It will be on site for Mizzou's matchup against Vanderbilt this Saturday, calling Mizzou, quote, a sideshow. Last time Mizzou played a road game with game day attendance, they played spoiler, winning 21-20 in South Carolina. Former Mizzou center Mitch Morse was named the SEC Football Legends class today. Tigers will take on the Commodores, 2:30 on Saturday. You can hear that one right here on KTGR, beginning with the Yingling Tiger Game Day Show at 11:30. Injury news, Chiefs rookie defensive lineman Omar Norman Lott on the injury reserve after an ACL injury sustained Sunday. Also, Washington quarterback Jaden Daniels will not play in the game on Monday after a hamstring injury keeps him out. Marcus Mariota will get the start for the Commanders 7:15 start for that one between the Chiefs and the Commanders on Monday. You can hear that one on KCQ 96.7. Chiefs trying to make it 5 wins in 6 tries. Blues lose last night 2-1 in overtime against the Los Angeles Kings. Jordan Kyrou, though, extends his point streak to 4 with an assist. Up next, your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking clear skies tonight and a chance to see some frost, especially north of Highway 24, where we have a frost advisory. Temperatures drop down into the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow, expect sunshine again. We're going to see light winds and temperatures making it to the mid 60s. Rain chances return by mid-morning Friday. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
All the hard hits.
He's under pressure, and down he goes. Inside the 20-yard line.
All the jaw-dropping moments.
Makes a man miss. 30, 20, near sideline, 10, 5, touchdown.
KTGR is your home for the high school football game of the week.
Oh, my goodness.
Join us this weekend as the Rockbridge Bruins host the Francis Howell Vikings.
Coverage starts with high school kickoff, Friday night at 6 on Mid-Missouri's Total Sports Station, KTGR.
Hey, it's Andy and Brendan with Underdog Fantasy. I am so happy that basketball is back. Obviously, football's still going on, but the games aren't quite here yet. You got to wait for the weekend. So in the meantime, NBA basketball can tide you over on Underdog Fantasy, and it can help you win money by going higher or lower on your favorite players' stats before you get to football this weekend. Brendan, what do you like?
Well, with plenty of basketball to choose from on Wednesday night, I'm keeping it simple with my three-point shooters. I think Michael Porter Jr. in a new role in Brooklyn is going to be letting it fly tonight. So I'm taking higher than 3.5 made three-pointers from him. And in the same game on the Charlotte side, give me the rookie Con Knipple to have a nice game shooting the basketball. I'll go higher than 3.5 made three-pointers on him as well. That's got a scorcher multiplier involved, and that is my entry on Wednesday night.
Yeah, and the more picks you add to your entry, the higher it can pay out. If you get all of your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today and use our promo code KTGR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/plan to get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hit a deer, win a cow. Hit a deer, win a cow. Hit a deer, win a cow. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. Award-winning auto collision repair. Don't wait, we're great. We work with all insurance companies. We work with all insurance companies. Yes, we work with your insurance company. New Bloomfield, Missouri. FPPBodyShop.com. 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 Fletcher, Performance and Paint.
College football is all about the next generation. Fresh talent, big plays, new energy every season. That's the same approach behind Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. Just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories with real beer flavor that keeps up from kickoff to the post-game recap. So whether you're tailgating or celebrating a win, make Flight your go-to. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
You know your former golf bag? It's not just holding up the weed whacker on your garage wall. It's also holding cash. Same goes for that rowing machine you swore you'd use once. At Play It Again Sports, turn your gently used gear into money in your pocket. Bring in your old golf equipment, fitness gear, softball bats, baseball cleats, and more. Cash out and keep it, or trade up to something better. Play It Again Sports in Columbia. Think of them first, so you don't finish last. PlayItAgainSportsColumbiaMo.com.
Everyone has their go-to game day outfit. Maybe it's a comfy black and gold hoodie or that old hat you wear because it still hasn't been to a losing game. Hi, this is Sophie Cunningham, and if you really want to stand out on game day, talk to the team at Betch Jewelers in downtown Columbia. Rock your favorite team's colors with a beautifully designed, one-of-a-kind custom piece of jewelry from Betch Jewelers in downtown Columbia, our hometown jeweler. MIZBETZ.
These beautiful moments begin at Betts. Begin at Betts.
It was 2:30 on a Tuesday when the phone rang. Brian Ware Plumbing answered the call. It was a dismayed wife. Fresh off vacation, her and her hubby came home to a wrecked water heater. It had sprung a leak. A bad one. So while the plumbing team took care of that leaky water heater, Brian's certified restoration guide, Josh, with 2 decades of experience, came in to restore the area and stop mold in its tracks. Another day, another job, another expert added to the team. Ho-hum. Better call Brian and unplug your plumbing problems. BrianWarePlumbing.com.
If it's Mizzou sports, it's happening here. Now, back to the big show on KTGR.
All right, our top 5 NFL head coaches revealed a little bit ago. Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Dan Campbell, Mike Tomlin, Kyle Shanahan was my list. Brendan's list, Andy Reid. Did you still have Campbell too? You did.
Yeah, I'm leaving Campbell at number 2, I think.
Then Sean McVay, then Kyle Shanahan, then Kevin O'Connell.
Mitch McConnell, yes.
Yes. Now to the bottom 5 NFL head coaches. Let's start at the bottom here.
The very bottom?
Yeah, the very bottom. We'll see if Mike Vrabel makes the list.
No, but another Mike does. I have to put McDaniel right at 32, just because that situation has devolved so badly in Miami. I saw Tua today was asked about why he didn't target Jalen Waddle, and he said he it's hard to see over the linemen sometimes. Like, whether that's true or not, like,
golly.
He's like, I couldn't really see guys. It's hard.
Well, then you can't target anybody. Jeez.
Yeah, what are we doing? It's just gotten bad, and that's not Mike McDaniel saying something dumb, but it's just everything I see about that situation tells me not good. So he's number 32 for me. I hate to say it because I liked him. I thought it would work.
Yeah, that has not gone well.
Great coordinator. Somebody's going to get a great OC next year.
I think that's right. 31. Mine is Pete Carroll.
Oh, wait, you had McDaniel number 32 as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah. It is not. I thought the Raiders would be putting up some kind of fight this year. That is not materialized, man. And I just don't. He is not the future of that position.
No, he's the past
in
of
Vegas. Yeah, he's the past of it. And he was once one of the top 5 NFL coaches, but not anymore. It's just, I don't know.
His roster isn't very good, though. I mean,
I get that, but I don't see him really inspiring that roster all that much either. And so it looked lifeless in Kansas City this past weekend. Just did. So I have him at 31.
Okay, I didn't have him in my bottom 5, but I might make a change, and then I'll move the other guy to honorable mention. I'm going to put Dave Canales here at 31.
Ooh, okay.
And by the way,
they're 4-3.
Yeah, I'm over and I know I think Bryce Young is maybe dealing with a little bit of an injury.
Yeah,
I think they were going to bench him anyway. I'm just over the back and forth stuff with him, and I wanted to request, I forgot to do so, that we should name this the Brian Callahan Memorial bottom 5 NFL
memorial.
coaches.
Okay.
Billy's got a smile on his face because obviously he would have been 32.
He would have been 32, but we
didn't get the chance. I'll go Canales at 31.
It seems
their record's fine. He might be fine, but I'm tired of the wishy-washy stuff. I think they were going to start Andy Dalton even if Bryce Young wasn't hurt.
All right. My number 30 is Jonathan Gannon. Is he on your bottom 5?
He's not, actually.
Really?
Can I replace Canales with Gannon? That's probably better.
That's it.
I'm not going to put him at 31, but I'm gonna midstream make a change. Gannon I'll include, but
vibes from that hire were not good.
Yeah.
Early, so it's kind of gone the way that everyone's expected. So from that,
yeah, you're compelling me with your answers here on some of these. Okay, so my new number 31, Zach Taylor is number 31.
Zach Taylor was my 29. Yeah.
Okay, I think Joe Burrow covers up a lot for this guy when he's healthy. And when he's not healthy, we see the rest.
They will not make the playoffs this year, and Zach Taylor will be fired. Like, he will not survive this year.
How many years can you do it where you say, oh, but my quarterback was hurt? Well, it's like, this is the NFL, brother.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out.
So you have Zach Taylor at 31, Jonathan Gannon at 30 is what you
I have Gannon at, let's put Gannon at 30.
30.
Because I don't want to be too punitive to one of the guys that's on my list, but I do want to make the statement to put him on there. So Gannon will be 30. And
your 31 is still Canales?
No, I made a change.
Oh,
32
Zach Taylor.
is
Okay.
32 is McDaniel.
Then Zach
31
Taylor.
is Zach Taylor.
Then Gannon.
30 will be Gannon. 29 will actually be Pete Carroll.
Okay.
I was very punitive to the NFC South. I don't think Raheem Morris is a very good head coach either. I was trying to find a way to get him on this list, but I'm not going to ultimately because you're right. I think the Carroll thing, when they hired him, the ceiling was like 7-10, and it's weird to hire a head coach who's got to be nearing retirement. They always talk about how much energy Pete Carroll has, but to do that and know that your best you can do with him is 7-10 is an odd decision. So I am going to include Carroll at 29. So I've revealed 4. Have you revealed all 4?
I've revealed about 4. Yeah.
Okay. So give me your 28th, or 28th on the list.
It will not
Best
be Mike
coach.
Vrabel.
Okay.
So we'll get that out of the way. It's Brian Daboll for me.
Oh no. Oh no.
You might be surprised by that. Look,
Yeah, I am.
they look a lot better, but they're still 2-5. They still found a way
Yeah.
to lose that game against the Broncos. And look,
He should have had the guts to not ever start Russell Wilson. And I
exactly.
think
You're
he'd be in a
2-5
better
because
spot.
of that. You might be
Yeah.
an above 500 team, if not. And also, like, Daniel Jones is looking pretty good over in Indy, and you couldn't figure it out with him.
Ooh, good point.
So I don't know about Brian Daboll, man. He's my fifth worst.
He's not that low for me. I was going to argue he's top half, but I say that about a lot of guys. He's probably not. He's probably like 18th, but I think he's fine. And I think he's going to make it there in New York. Who I don't think is going to make it in New York is Aaron Glenn, already on my list.
Right, yeah.
28th. I don't see it, boys.
Okay.
I don't see it. The Jets stink.
I mean,
It
if they
just
keep
stinks.
stinking, then he will eventually make my list, but I'm just not ready to do it yet. We'll see. But doesn't look great. Only winless team so far in the NFL. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with over-unders for Mizzou Vandy. Be sure to get yours in. Thanks for joining us today. We're back at 4 o'clock tomorrow. He's Brendan. He's producer Billy. I'm Andy. We're done for now.